Hi, I'm Philip Hawkins, and welcome to Career of the Week. Today, we'll briefly discuss what it takes to become a person of impact, a shaper of lives, a teacher. So, what does it mean to be a great teacher? Of course, credentials, knowledge, critical thinking, and other faculties of intelligence are important. However, a great teacher should be much more than just credentials, experience, and intelligence. Great teachers do it all. They have to. Across all ages, languages, ethnicities, and subjects, teachers are and need to be some of the most widely skilled people around in order to be successful. A day in the life of a teacher can vary greatly depending on the subject and grade level in which they teach. Although standing in front of the classroom is a huge part of what a teacher's responsibilities, they extend far beyond that into the lives of their students. Let's take a look at a day in the life of science teacher Jennifer Stimson.
6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, girls, you guys have exactly 5 minutes of updated program. Go do what you want.
Teachers are people who help students reach their goals and dreams. Sometimes teachers kind of go above and beyond, and they might make sure and they kind of stay on your case, make sure you do everything you're supposed to do. But a lot of times they just want to inspire you. One thing about being a science teacher is that you got to be on your game when it comes to knowing a little bit about calculations. And so I had to take a lot of math classes growing up. I wasn't always good with math, I wasn't always good with numbers, but I was just that kid that stayed with it and got the help that I needed because not everybody is great at everything. Some people have to work hard at it and they just can't walk through the door and oh, I know it. But for me, I actually was that kid that had to work hard. So I had to stay after, get the help I needed, go see my teachers, get extra tutoring so that I could be at a place where I could compete with kids who had it. My biggest hobby when I was in elementary school was reading, and by the time I got to high school, I was reading a lot more, and because by reading, it opens up a world that you just never even thought about until you pick up a book. So if you're in high school right now and you're like, well, man, what do I want to do? I think I want to be a teacher. I think I want to be a scientist. What I would do is I would take as many math and science courses as you can. Let me tell you why math and science. Math, because math always stays the same, but your approach to the problem always changes, and that gives you a whole different outlook on how to solve a problem, because one thing about being an adult is that you have to know how to problem solve. And so taking as many math courses, that gives you that foundation, that strength, that confidence that you need to take on the hard challenges, both in your profession and in your personal and professional lives. I would encourage you to take as many science courses, because science just gives you a different perspective of what the world is like. I mean, are you going to be in earth science and think about Earth and how the Earth evolves? Or are you going to talk about biology and how things grow and be and exist? Are you going to look at chemistry, like how things are made and why the molecules behave in a certain way to give us the explosions and the sounds and the fizzes and the dissolved water in the ocean? Or are we going to look at life sciences as a whole and how the whole thing comes together to create the world that we know today? So I would encourage you to take a lot of math and a lot of science. But the other thing that most people just don't even think about is reading and writing, because one thing a scientist has to do is that person has to know how to communicate. And as we change how we communicate in the world, we all are electronic right now. Everybody's texting or tweeting or Facebooking. We have to be able to communicate our messages in a very short time frame. And short doesn't necessarily mean in a span. Maybe you're Snapchatting, maybe you only have 148 characters, but whatever the case is, you need to get your point across in a different way than when I was in school. So you have to know how to communicate, and being able to communicate takes a skill of learning how to read and write effectively. So I would encourage you to take as many diverse reading and writing classes as you can. Science teachers will always be needed because the world is always going to change, and there's always going to be a need for someone to explain the changes that are happening. And those are high-level scientists, those people who actually study those changes at the complex level. But then there needs to be some educators that tell the kids, hey, this is how it happens, and this is why we need you in our professions in years to come, because we need you to come up with new technology that hadn't even been invented yet to be in place in 5 years to keep the world evolving. So the future of this profession is that group of people who are interested in making a difference in how the world works and how the world operates, as well as continuing that love and passion passion for knowing why science is important and applying those skills in order to take STEM to the next level.
Traditionally, to become a teacher, you'll need to complete your bachelor's degree from an education program. However, most states offer a flexible alternative certification option if your degree's in something else. This can be to your advantage if you want to teach a specific subject in high school. All teachers teach, but great teachers do so much more. They motivate, they inspire, and they lead. They interact with their community and affect positive change. Great teachers change lives.